欢迎你来到今天的深度解析。今天我们要聊的东西啊，可能听起来有点怎么说呢？有点学术。
对，是一份大学课程。
So that clip you just heard is actually from a podcast overview I generated for my students in the past spring 2026 semester. In fact, I've been doing this for almost every single lecture across all the courses I teach. Even though I hand out detailed assignment brief and unpack the rubrics in the class, I found that creating these conversational audio overviews provide a very different layer of support. For my undergraduate mass communication students, one of the major hurdles is actually the practical assessment on the broadcast journalism equipments, which actually also includes a Viva exam. It is technically demanding and honestly it can be pretty intimidating for them. The real breakthrough here isn't just about making the content engaging, it's about the inclusivity in language. Our classrooms are incredibly diverse and we often have students who are navigating dense technical academic English as a second language. So when we only provide a written document, we actually accidentally build a wall. By converting those exact same information into natural spoken dialogue, we provide a critical bit of scaffolding that helps them process the expectations at their own pace. So when I first started experimenting with Google NotebookLM about 6 months back, it was amazing at generating those 2-host audio tracks from raw PDFs and notes. But the tool has moved forward significantly since then. We have gone from basic audio generation to a much more deeper customization, including video overviews and vastly improved language capabilities that let us tailor the output for our specific student cohorts. The best part is it does not require you to be a sound engineer or spend hours editing audio. So I want to show you exactly how to take a standard institutional rubric and turn it into an inclusive learning asset in just a few minutes. So let's jump over to my screen and I'll walk you through the process. So in the fall 2025, I taught a course on broadcast journalism, and this is actually one of the recordings I had in my class. Let's have a listen.
I'll repeat. So for this newscast, you will get the footage. We are pulling in the footage. Okay. So we have you will get all the footage. You have your own piece to camera. You have your own B-roll.
So typically I record my lectures, and this is basic. So I can create a podcast or a podcast later on. Now, you might not get this very good quality. It depends upon your classroom. If your classroom has bad acoustics, then you may have to take your recording to another software where you may need to clean it up and do a noise reduction. But thankfully my classroom had good acoustics and I kept the phone very close to me when I was actually giving a lecture to my students. This is a pretty decent recording. So I'm going to use this recording to create the podcast. So let's go over to Google NotebookLM. So I'm going to create a new notebook. If you have an existing notebook, doesn't matter. It's just going to ask me to drag and drop the recording. I'm just going to drag it and drop it here. Now, while I drop it, it's going to process the recording. Typically, it will give you a summary and also it will give you a transcription. This is also a great tool, by the way, for getting transcription of any recording that you may have. And once I click on the name, it will take the name from the recording and give it a specific. As you can see, I have one source. It's giving me a summary, and I am going to now just generate the podcast. If you look over to your right hand side, this is the studio. This is where all the tools exist in NotebookLM. I can hold another lecture just to show you the interface of NotebookLM and what all things you can do. But for this particular tutorial, I'm just going to focus on the audio overview, which is the podcast. So you click on this particular arrow and it will open up this interface. It will give you different options. Depending upon the recording that you put, you may go for a deep dive, brief, critique, or debate. It is self-explanatory. It is explained to you what each of this does. The key thing for it, for me at least, is that I have students who are, the native language could be Arabic. I have a student who's also Chinese, by the way. So I'm going to also generate a podcast for her as well. So first, for the standard, let's go with English. These are the instructions that I have typed, which basically is very clear. I need a list of things the students are supposed to know to do this particular assignment. That's it. You can keep it to default, but if you want a much longer explanation, if you remember, my recording was around close to 10 minutes. So if you choose long, it's going to be closer to that length. But default is pretty decent. It keeps the focus, and it does a pretty good job. I have only one source, this one. Now, if you had multiple recordings, you can just select that particular one and generate a podcast from that. If you want to combine different recordings, suppose you did a recording in 2-3 different parts, you can bring all of them here, make sure those are selected, and then you generate the podcast. And that's it. I mean, that's about it. And I'm just going to click on generate. It will take a while and it will start generating right here. I mentioned you can also do a podcast in Arabic as well. So click on this arrow, copy paste the same instruction, go down the languages, and I'm going to choose the standard Arabic. This is the standard Arabic. I'm going to choose that, and that's it. Just generate. And I can also choose Chinese as well. I had a student in my class who is Chinese, and I can choose the simplified Chinese, which is right here. This is the simplified Chinese. This is the traditional Chinese or classical Chinese. This is better. And I'm going to just put the same instruction and generate. That's it. So now you sit back, it is generating the 3 podcasts for you. Once this is done, I can download it and I can upload on my Blackboard, and the students can give it a listen. I'm going to just give you a sneak peek of what it was able to generate. Just give me a few seconds. I'm going to come back to you with the final output. Here you are. I got the Arabic and the English generated. Chinese is being generated right now. While the Chinese gets generated, let's give it a listen to the Arabic one.
ماذا لو كان السر وراء إنتاج تقرير إخباري مبهر بصرياً أو قصة صحفية تؤثر الانتباه لا علاقة له بالكاميرا على الإطلاق؟
ولا حتى ببرامج المونتاج المتقدمة.
بالضبط، بل ربما يبدأ الأمر كله بما.
That's the Arabic one. This is the English one.
So imagine handing a video editor just a massive hard drive of raw footage.
Oh, total nightmare right out of the gate.
Right, and then telling them, hey, you aren't allowed to use a single track of background music to set the mood at all.
Wow, good luck with that today.
Yeah, and it gets worse. You tell them they have to write their entire script.
But it isn't actually. I mean, this is such an interactive way, interesting way to actually provide a particular resource for students in different languages. I mean, it also has an interactive mode. You can click on it and you can actually interact with the podcast. So you can actually speak, you can ask questions, it will provide you the answers. I think this is a beautiful and amazing way to really work with your students. Still waiting for the Chinese one to get done. So here is the Chinese one.
欢迎你来到今天的深度解析。今天我们要聊的东西啊，可能听起来有点怎么说呢？有点学术。
对，是一份大学课程的内部录音。
没错，就是一份来。
So as you can see, this is really helpful. In fact, the video cast is also quite interesting. You can exactly do the same process and create a podcast as well. It will generate a particular slides for you, and you can give a visual representation to what you want to do with the assignment or any lesson or any lecture that you take in your class. Excellent tool, gets better with every time. And there are some new features which I'm definitely going to share with you as we go along. Thank you so much for joining.